All right, everyone, welcome back to another episode of Speak to the Beak. I am Tim the Ferds, joined by Keith Hernandez. Me and Keith, I don't even have to ask him how he's doing, because if you watched the Met game last night, you know exactly how we're doing. So, Keith, how was being at Citi Field for the Jacob deGrom masterpiece?
That was, I think, definitely in my top 3 of games I've ever watched live, and it has to be right up there with NLCS Game 2 that I was at. That was one of only 8,000 people at the stadium, and every time a strikeout or when he hit that double, the stadium exploded. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. I mean, I was obviously watching it at my house, and I was just like, this man doesn't even need teammates. He's so good. He's so good. You know who does need teammates, though? Your streamer from last week, Casey Mize.
Well, he's not doing his team any justice.
No, that's why he needs teammates. Yeah, that's exactly why.
So, yeah, that was a poor choice. I should have gone with who you wrote about, JT Brubaker.
I know.
I think 2 hours after we recorded, I was going through the players, and I was like, oh my god, who's this guy? And then my dad picked him up.
So we're going to talk about him in a second, actually, because I wanted to bring him up a little bit later.
Mm-hmm.
But you guys know the deal, so before we start, a couple things that we got to do, because obviously we got a loaded show again today. Give you some fantasy nuggets, give you some hot topics, a series we're looking forward to, but we're going to need you to do the usual. Check out the website, beakbrands.com. Written content is there, podcast is there. We got a bunch of stuff. Obviously, if you're a big NFL fan, the draft is less than a week away, so we're going to have stuff geared towards that coming out this week. All right, that's number 1. Number 2, follow at Beak Brands, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. You can interact with me and Keith there. I'm at Tim Ferdinand. He's at Keith Hernandez, 2 Z's. Last night would have been the perfect opportunity for you to do so, because we were going off. All right. The other thing is, our YouTube audience is growing, which is pretty sweet. So subscribe, like the video, tell your friends, watch it 1,000 times, whatever. All right, we'll do whatever it takes. And if you're an audio-only person, Spotify and or Apple Podcast, make sure you rate and review, follow, and or subscribe. Feel free to share. I just want to shout out Dennis, Hunter, and Jeff over there for sharing us on social media. We've definitely picked up some views that way. So if you like what we got going on, definitely hit us with a share or a like. And if you, like I said before, if you're one of those guys that hey, this guy never talks about my team, listen, we do requests. All right, we will hook you up because we're going to base the show towards our main audience. Right now, our main audience, Mets and Yankees fans, obviously. But if we got somewhere else to be, we will take care of you. So that's kind of what we need to do before we start the show here, Keith. So you ready to go?
I'm ready.
Keith was born ready. So, yeah, look at that. And the neighbors are walking the dog out there. Very nice day out. All right, anyway, so let's continue on the Jacob deGrom thing, right? So I'm just going to read off some stats that I screenshotted here on the Twitter machine. And don't worry, I'll give you credit because I'm not, a big fan of plagiarism. So here we go. Greg Harvey. Since the start of 2018, Jacob deGrom has started 80 games. During this 80-game stretch, deGrom has pitched to an ERA under 2 and has 678 strikeouts. Only 3 pitchers have done this in modern history. Do you want to try to guess who they are?
Go with Pedro.
Mm-hmm. There's 2 others.
I'm not sure.
Okay. Pedro, Clayton Kershaw, Sandy Koufax. So you got one of them. So that was good.
Okay, there we go.
Okay, here we go. This is from Jason Stark. Roy Halladay seemed dominant. All right, this is exactly what he wrote. He had 3 games of 14-plus strikeouts in his whole career. deGrom has done it 3 consecutive starts. In the 90s, Greg Maddux, Oral Hershiser, and Dave Stewart had 3 combined games with 14-plus strikeouts. deGrom has 3 in the past 2 weeks. Only Nolan Ryan, Pedro Martinez, and Randy Johnson have ever struck out more hitters over a 3-game start span than deGrom has. Crazy. Okay, here we go. Jacob deGrom has more RBIs this year than earned runs allowed. He's a one-man team. All right, and then last one. Pitchers to have 43-plus strikeouts and 1 earned run or less. This is also from Greg Harvey in a 3-game span. Jacob deGrom, right now, Dwight Gooden, 1984. So, all right, this is just crazy. So I'm going to let you go. What do you think about, obviously, where deGrom is currently elevating himself? Because it's weird that as he's getting older, he's, like, getting better.
Yeah. It was so weird, like, in this. I mean, this is like the 4th straight start he's done it, but he's out there in the 7th inning throwing 101. Like, that's what Justin Verlander used to do when he was, like, 26. Like, deGrom's about to turn 33 in June. It's so weird seeing it. But I mean, I love how he openly talks about, like, wanting to be in that, like, inner circle of the Hall of Fame, like wanting to win his 3rd Cy Young, wanting to win an MVP. Like, that stuff's cool. Like, nobody, like, no player, like, ever, like, openly talks about that stuff. And especially someone, like, quiet like deGrom, you don't expect that from him. He's not very, like screaming on the mound like Trevor Bauer, or, like, K-struts after he strikes someone out. You know, he's, like, when he's out there, he's just a killer. He's just to himself.
He's one of those guys, when he's, like, in the zone, you don't want any part of it. No. Like, the teammates don't even really say anything to him. He sits in the dugout. Yo, he's throwing, like, 8 2-hit innings yesterday. This man looked livid, like he was getting shelled. Like, when it's game day for him, like, he takes it to another level.
You saw what he said after the game?
I watched the whole thing, so which part of it?
Oh, yeah. When he said, like, he saw how good his stuff was in the bullpen. And
he was nervous. Yeah. How cool must it be to go to the stadium and you know, like, oh, these guys are in trouble tonight. Like, oh, man. That's crazy. But between him and Stroman right now, they've both been killing it. Insane. Stroman's pitching later today.
Yeah, Stroman's pitching at 4 o'clock today. That's going to be an exciting one.
Keith's going to be there again.
He's a machine. Just a ground ball machine. They've been putting a good enough defense behind them where it's worked. You know, he's not really going for the strikeouts anymore, which it looked like he was when he first got traded in 2019. And that was his biggest issue. He was pitching for the strikeout and he was getting rocked.
Yeah. He's just not that kind of guy.
He's not the kind of guy. I mean, in September he did change that and he dropped his ERA down to like 1.63 in that month, and back in 2019. But he's pitching the contact, throwing those sinkers and changeups with a couple sliders, whatever. Drop a 4-seam up and in every once in a while, and it's working.
So here's a question for you, right? Mm-hmm. Because it's not a foregone conclusion. Obviously, I mean, it is April 24th as of this recording.
Yeah.
All right, so, you know, we got time. But if you're, I put this on my story last night. If you're the Padres right now, or whatever team might be in the wild card play-in game, I think you've ready, like, you're commenced in prayer, like full on prayer, that the Mets win their division, because I don't think you want any part of that, and in that one game, that's it.
Yeah, I think we said this in the division previews, that, like, if the Mets end up going to the wild card, that it's, like, pretty much an automatic lock.
Yeah.
Like, just with deGrom in there.
It's scary for the other team.
Yeah. Especially if it's a team from the West Coast who's seen him maybe once this season.
Yeah.
Because they play each other once at home and once away, and if deGrom starts get skipped both times they're there, then they have a chance of not even seeing him this entire season.
I would intentionally not pitch him in those games. Yeah.
Especially against the Padres, like, sure, you want a nice regular season win against the Padres, but, like, who cares? Especially if you have a solid enough, like if you don't have to win. Like, one of those games.
Yeah.
Like, if you're in this position at that point of the season, I would skip the deGrom start.
Can you imagine? Because I think it's realistic the Dodgers and/or Padres both win more than 100 games.
I think so too.
Can you imagine winning like 105 games and then you're out because you had to face him? I would be so mad.
One of the most frustrating thing would be winning 105 games and ending up in the wild card.
Yeah, well, that too.
On top of that, facing deGrom. It's just ruined.
We need to poll a Pittsburgh Pirates fan about how that feels. Alright, so we're going to play a fun game before we go to our next topic. I know I spent a lot of time on deGrom, but, like, I mean, this man is crazy. So we're gonna play a fun game. All right, so we're gonna pick pitchers, 5-man rotation. Me and Keith are gonna alternate picks. So once someone's picked, you can't pick them again, obviously. Even though I think me and Keith are in lockstep here for our top 5, but we're gonna alternate. So we'll just go me, you, me, you, me, you. But I guess I'll let you go first. deGrom is not available, so you got to pick someone who's not him. All right, so I'll keep track of who goes, and then maybe we could post a little graphic afterwards. So you get the first pick. You could take any pitcher in baseball that is not Jacob deGrom. Who are you gonna pick?
I think clearly Shane Bieber.
I saw that coming from 10 miles away. All right, that's a good pick. So you're just gonna go because he's pretty much the American League Jacob deGrom.
He's the American League Jacob deGrom, and I wouldn't be surprised 4 or 5 years down the road, he's doing exactly what deGrom is doing right now.
I agree 100%. Yeah, he doesn't throw that hard.
He's a thrower.
Yeah.
He's like 93, 95. Even deGrom, when he first came up, was a little harder than that. So
Bieber's really good. I mean, I took Glasnow as my AL Cy Young because I just wanted to not. I thought Bieber was the favorite for it, so I didn't want to pick him. But the way this guy's pitching, I don't know if Glasnow can hang in there the whole season and keep it up with him. So just wanted to throw that out there. That would be my first pick too. My first pick is going to be Corbin Burnes, and I'll tell you why. I'm not going to let you have your own guy. You can get out of here. So it's Corbin Burnes. And the reason I'm going to say him is because, well, one, if you look at his numbers, this guy is, ridiculous. He gets no pub whatsoever. I mean, if you're, a diehard MLB fan, you know who he is. But if you're a casual, you probably have no idea who he is. But the reason I'm picking him is because I'm worried that Jacob deGrom is going to get LeBron James'd by this man. And I'll explain exactly what that means in case you're confused. So what the NBA does is they find every excuse to not give LeBron James the MVP. And they did it with Kobe Bryant, they did it with Michael Jordan. Between the three of them, I don't think they have 20 combined. And, that makes no sense. So what I think is going to happen with deGrom is that if Corbin Burns' numbers are 85 to 90% as good as him, they're going to find a way to not give it to deGrom because baseball is stupid like that. I mean, he's really good. I'm not trying to disrespect this guy, but deGrom's on a level by himself, and then it's him and Bieber, I think, are the next two. But he's really good for Milwaukee, and I could see him pitching them all the way to close to the playoff race. And I don't know if the back end of their rotation is going to hold up the whole year, but he's been really good. All right, so you have Bieber, and I have Burns. This is where it starts to get a little, we might go different paths. So who you got as your number 2 starter?
I want to take Glasnow.
Okay. So Keith's going to take Glasnow. Who are you torn between? Because I think I know who my pick is going to be now that you took him.
I think my clear choice was Garrett Cole. I just didn't want to take him yet.
Okay. So why Glasnow over Cole then? Just because you didn't want to take him, or?
I just didn't want to take Cole. Yeah, but no, I'm a huge Glasnow fan. For the last 3 years, he's starting to figure out, how to stay away from the beginning. Even though yesterday, I think
they got him yesterday. Yeah,
they got him, but I mean that only put his ERA at 2.05. So
I mean, he's been really good.
He's been amazing this year. He's starting to put everything together little by little. I know last year he got rocked a little bit.
A little bit, yeah.
I think his ERA was over 4.5.
I think he's just one of those. He's prone to once a month, he's gonna get rocked.
He's gonna get rocked.
Yeah, which
he's gonna.
You go.
Tip his pitches, or I think last year in the playoffs he was tipping.
He was tipping his pitches. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just gonna happen until he completely, irons everything out. But he's amazing.
I like that pick. So I guess since you left him for me, I'm gonna take Garrett Cole. I didn't think I was gonna get him. And obviously, my 2 picks, if you took Cole, I was going to take Glasnow. If you took Glasnow, I was going to take Cole, so that worked out for me either way. Cole, obviously, I mean, really good, ton of strikeouts, pitches innings. He gets better as the weather gets warmer. So, I mean, what are you going to do? I mean, it's going to get hot. He's going to be really good. Plays in a really strong hitting division. So, that's who my number 2 is. So, you have Bieber and Glasnow. I have Burns and Cole. Who's going to be your number 3 starter?
This is a tough one.
Yeah, this is where it gets murky.
This is where you can. There's a lot of ways you can go.
Yeah.
But I might go with Darvish.
Okay.
Yeah, he's been locked in again. It was kind of weird like years ago when like he started getting hurt, and I thought it was like done.
He had a couple of years there where he was just hurt year after year.
He had a couple of years, but yeah, he was just constantly hurt, and his ERA was just super inflated, and I thought he wasn't ever going to come back. But I mean, he was with the Cubs, and he was great, and then he was with now with the Padres. He's doing great so far. He only gave up 1 run to the Dodgers last night.
Yeah.
He had a really, really great outing last night. So, yeah.
I like him. I like him. My next pick, I don't know. It might surprise you. I don't think it will, though. I'm going to take one of the Dodger guys. I'm going with Walker Buehler.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think he's got the best stuff out of anyone there at this current time. Like, obviously, prime Clayton Kershaw is a different thing. But for right now, Buehler, I think, has the best stuff. He's not even their number 1, which makes no sense. That's how good their team is. He's not even their number 2. I mean, he's insane. He's got electric stuff, and he's really young. So I think and he's got a ton of postseason experience because the Dodgers are stacked. So by the time playoffs comes around, and he also goes innings. I like guys that go innings. That's why I'm not in love with Darvish, because sometimes he's like a 5-6 inning guy. I mean, not in love compared to like the other top 10 pitchers in the league, but obviously I take him on my team any day. But for this exercise, that's where I would go. So who's going to be your 4th guy?
This is, I think I'll go with Strasburg.
Okay. Assuming health.
Assuming health.
Yeah, okay.
That's the big risk with him. I mean, he's hurt right now with that shoulder injury again. I think it was they took the MRI. It was just a little.
It was inflammation. Yeah, I have him in our league. Yeah.
So, I hate to see it, but it happens with him, like once or twice a year. It's just whatever. But yeah, he's great. He's another guy who's not really slowing down. He's been in the league forever now. It's like 11 years.
Yeah. he's been up for a while.
He's really slowing down, and nobody's talking about it.
Well, that's what I've been saying it for the longest time. Like when it was Jose Fernandez, him, Scherzer, and deGrom, I'm like, you might have, other than Kershaw, like at the time, the 4 best pitchers in the whole league are in the same division.
And the same division, yeah.
Like it was crazy at one point.
2 of them were on the same team.
Yeah. Yeah, 2 of them are on the same team, which is ridiculous. All right, so that's a good pick. I mean, I have a soft spot for him, so big fan of that. Look, so my 4th guy might surprise you, but you know how I like to play these games. I like to think about it as if like actually the GM of a team, because I think that having a little different like styles of pitching is definitely a part of this. So I'm going to go with Julio Urias from the Dodgers. All right. He's got a, where are you? There you are. Okay. He's got a 2.8 ERA, a whip under 1. He's got 26 strikeouts and a couple of starts so far. He goes innings. He's a lefty. He's got a 26-4 strikeout to walk ratio. Like, this dude is really, really good. And he was always, like, their bullpen piece. Like we said in the division previews, he always got booted, to the bullpen when the playoffs came. So I like him as my number 4. Gives me a lefty with electric stuff. And he's not near 100. So, like, it's kind of giving me... And he has different, like, a pitch set than the other guys I've picked. Because I mostly just have guys who throw straight gas. So, I like that pick for me. What do you think about that? Would you have picked him anywhere?
No, because I think he's forgotten about. I actually was at his debut at Citi Field in 2016. And he got rocked. And I was like, oh, this is their number 1 prospect? This is funny.
Yeah. He's lost a lot of weight since then, too. He used to be, like, chunky.
Lost a ton of weight.
Yeah.
I think losing a spot in the rotation a couple times also like clicked something in him. And last year, I mean, he was great last year. He got and like you said, he got the last out in the World Series. Like I think that's what started making everything click for him, and earned his rotation spot this year. He's been great.
He's been really good.
He's been great.
All right, who's your 5?
Yeah, so you made me remember another Dodgers guy. This guy's super young, only 23 years old. Dustin May. So
Okay.
I got a rotation of flamethrowers. Whatever.
Yeah.
But so far through 3 starts this year, 2.93 ERA, 2.90 FIP. His strikeouts per 9, he's starting to know how to use that 100-mile-an-hour fastball.
Yeah.
Strikeouts per 9 in the last 2 years, 8.3 in his first full season in 2019 when he was mostly working out of the bullpen, and then 7.1 last year in 10 starts. So he wasn't, even though he threw the 100 with like a 92-mile-an-hour slider, he wasn't striking out a lot of guys. This year through 3 starts, his strikeouts per 9 is up to 12.9, basically 13. He's starting to put everything together. Hits per 9 are down, homers per 9 are down. It doesn't walk a lot of guys either, so I really like him going forward. He's going to be pretty much exactly like Walker Buehler once he refines everything.
Yeah. So, look, I like that pick. That's not who I would have taken. Now, there are some good guys still available, right? You're looking at, Trevor Bauer, Aaron Nola, German Marquez, Jack Flaherty, Max Scherzer, Charlie Morton. There's, tons of dudes.
Yeah.
I would pick one of those guys, but just because I like to have fun with my last one, I'm going to throw out a shout-out to, one of the most underrated pitchers in the league right here. Sandy Alcantra. This guy is so good, and no one cares about him. No one cares about this guy. Not even the Marlins fans care about this guy. All right? Now, he is 0-2, but, he plays for the Marlins, so, okay, whatever. He's got a whip right about 1. He's got 32 strikeouts and 11 walks in 30 innings this year, so better than a strikeout an inning. This guy's really, really good. I joked around with you after the first 2 starts of the season when he only gave up 2 runs total in 12 innings. I was just like, the Marlins just had to take Jose Fernandez's soul and put it into this man's body. This guy is so good. Would he be my actual 5th pick? Probably not. I'd probably end up going with Flaherty, Bauer, Scherzer. I'd have to look at the numbers. Probably Flaherty's the youngest guy out of them, or Bauer, just because I like how much of an asshole he is. But for me, just for this game, I'm going to take Sandy Alcantara.
I love Sandy.
I know you do. That's why.
Not when he faces the Mets, but yeah. Like you said, he's so underrated. I think the Mets booth, the TV booth, was doing a little bit on him, just because he had pitched well, in the middle of one of the Mets games, and they were talking about how, that when they face the Marlins again, if they have to see him, it's going to be scary, especially how the offense has been hitting.
Because he's really good. He's really great. Good. Yeah. So let's get to
him and Trevor Rogers for some reason.
Trevor Rogers has been insane too.
Smart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But let's get to a couple other topics. We spent about 20 minutes on the Mets here with Jacob deGrom and other pitchers. So, listen, Oakland has won 12 in a row now, Keith. Not only are the Kelly green uniforms the greatest thing on this planet, but they're also playing well. So same question as last week. How much longer are they going to keep this up for? I mean, not winning every game, but just this hot streak.
I'm gonna give the win streak 14 games.
Okay.
They're gonna sweep the Orioles.
Okay.
The rest of this weekend, and then they're gonna lose whatever game, either Monday or Tuesday. I don't know when they play next. I don't even know who they're playing. I'm just saying they're gonna lose no matter what. Just because I don't know how sustainable it's gonna be. I mean, I don't know how sustainable it's gonna be. Whatever. The franchise won 22 games in a row before, and they're about to do it again. It looks like. So who knows? Their pitching, which was terrible that first series against the Astros,
terrible,
insane out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Irvin threw 7 one-run innings yesterday.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. And the Orioles had 10 hits yesterday, and they only put up 1 run.
They just couldn't cash in. Yeah.
They couldn't cash in anything.
No, I'm with you. Listen, I mean, everyone knows. I'm gonna keep saying it. Go A's, go. Jesus Luzardo and Frankie Montas carry me to the promised land in fantasy baseball. Let's do it. Even though I'm getting killed again this week. Last week I came back to win. # go Shane Bieber go. But
hey, listen, Mike Trout had his last 2 games canceled.
I know. Oh man. All right. So A's are hot. Let's just look at some other teams. Obviously, we know the Padres and Dodgers are battling it out. How big is it for you that, you know, or if you're a Padre fan or a Padres player, the Dodgers kind of, you know, beat you bad last time. You've taken the first 2 games of the series this time around.
Yeah.
Did that give you confidence that you could play with these guys?
Huge. Yeah. Especially you're playing at Dodger Stadium now. You're not even playing at home.
Yeah.
That's a huge boost. And the Padres fans do not travel.
No, they do not.
They do not. Especially the Dodger Stadium. Dodger Stadium is a scary place if you're going as an away fan.
I've been there. I've been there.
Yeah.
But it wasn't there to see the Mets. So actually, I saw the Angels-Dodgers game. It was interleague.
Oh, that's fun.
It was Jeff Weaver pitching against Jared Weaver.
Wow.
Yes, and I don't think I've ever told... Have I told you this? I don't know if I have.
No.
Jared Weaver threw a no-hitter and lost the game 1-0. Because he walked the guy, they stole second, error, and then sac fly. A little baseball history right there. Forgotten baseball history that I was a part of.
I forgot about that game.
But it's so weird because when you're there, because like I guess like Angels-Dodgers is not that big of a rivalry, and if you're an Angels-Dodgers fan, you could let me know if I'm wrong. But like I was there, like, you know, we're used to New York, like everything is F you, F this guy. You're just everyone who gets up, you're shaming them immediately. And then they were just like, yeah, you know, we're gonna get a Dodger dog and like watch the game, and they're just like doing their thing. Me and my dad and my uncle are like, what is going on out here? You're not supposed to like them. I was convinced that they could hear us screaming. It's very weird.
That is super weird, but I think it's just LA people. They're just
different lifestyle out there, yeah.
Different lifestyle.
We were trying to do the New York thing out there. Like, we gotta go, and everyone moves like 1 mile an hour. I'm like, you gotta get out of my way. Like, you're killing me. You're literally killing me. I don't know what it's like to like relax and like go for a stroll down the street, like. Yeah. You know, in my loafers and whatever else. Like, I need to go. But that's the difference between LA and New York right there. But anyway, back to the Padres beating the Dodgers at Dodger Stadium.
Yeah, and that catch that Machado made yesterday.
Yeah.
That saved at least 1 run. That was insane.
How about Tatis hitting? Yeah, okay. Yep. Yeah.
Tatis with 2 home runs off of Kershaw.
On the same day. Yep, you got
on the anniversary, like 22-year anniversary of his dad hitting 2 grand slams in 1 inning at Dodger Stadium.
That's so cool. That's so cool. Like, it's so geeked out about stuff like that. That's awesome. And I agree that I think this has given the Padres some confidence. But we got to get to some other things. So, last thing, what's your bigger surprise? The Yankees' slow start or the Red Sox hot start?
That's a tough one, because I don't think either of us saw either one coming.
No.
I'm just gonna go with the Yankees slow start because I think everyone thought that at least one pitcher outside of Garrett Cole would put something together and get something going, but hasn't worked out so far.
No, it has not.
It's starting to click. Stanton hit 2 home runs last night. I think Odor hit a homer. Someone else.
He made a nice play too in the field, also.
Yeah, he did. He did. That was after the homer. I think like the announcers were like, "Oh, you hit a homer and everything starts clicking for you on the field and stuff." So yeah, sometimes that's true, especially for a player that hits 120. But yeah, it looks like they're starting to put it together. They beat up on the Indians the last 2 games. So.
I'm telling you, man.
I mean,
the Indians just can't hit.
But the thing is, have you seen Chapman this year?
A little bit.
I think he's recorded 24 outs now, and 19 of them are via strikeout.
Yeah.
But
he's always been like that.
He's always been like that, but he's not even throwing super gas anymore. He's sitting around 98, 99, and sometimes it'll be 101.
Yeah.
He's not 101, 101, 104 anymore.
Yeah, that was scary.
He's throwing so many sliders and splitters now. He finally worked on the pitch that he can actually use it.
That's both of them. But even the slider, he was always fastball slider guy. But you got when he threw 103, it was all right, what am I gonna do? I can't look off speed. And then he would throw when it was a strike, it was over. You're not gonna hit it.
It was over. Yeah.
Yeah, he's really good. When he came over from Cuba, I wanted the Mets to get him so bad. and they were like, oh, yeah, his control is terrible. I'm like, ask me if I care. This dude throws 103. If
I
you
can't
can
believe he wanted to be a starter.
Yeah. Well, that wouldn't have lasted.
That wouldn't have lasted. That would have been a season, and it would have been over. And he went to the Reds too. But the Reds were actually good at that time.
Yeah, it's when they had like Johnny Cueto, Matt Latos,
Edison Volquez, right?
Yep, Edison Volquez with the crooked hat. that was a pretty good team.
Was on that team.
Brandon Phillips, I know.
Oh my God, Brandon Phillips. Yeah.
that was a good team. That was a good team. But back to the Yankees. So I'm actually gonna go with the Red Sox. And that's because I really didn't see this coming. Like, I thought the Yankees would be streaky. So, like, is it possible they could have started off slow? Like, yeah. And we knew their pitching wasn't that good outside of Cole. Like, did I think it was going to be this bad? No. But, like, the Red Sox are out here pretending it's like 2007. They're batting, like, everyone's batting over, like, 285. Their pitching has, like, been pretty good. I'm just surprised that they've been able to put these kind of numbers up. And they're doing it against divisional opponents, too.
Yeah, it's crazy. They've had those last two games against the Mariners. They really grinded those games out.
Yeah.
I think the Mariners took the game on Thursday, if I remember correctly.
Correct.
But they were.
That was Mitch Haniger.
Good battle. Yeah, Mitch Haniger that threw run over.
Love that guy.
But yeah, that's been a crazy series so far. Surprisingly, I mean they're both top teams in the division right now.
Yeah.
I think the A's finally caught the Mariners.
They did. They're in first place.
Yeah, they're in first
place. That's how bad their start was. They had to win 12 straight games to have a share of first place. Crazy. But no, listen, I mean, I think the Yankees will rebound. But let's move to some fantasy nuggets here. All right, so who's your Randy? And I just love when Randy Arozarena makes a play the night before. This man came flying out of left field, like literally Superman, made a diving catch. So I got to go first.
Smile on his face.
Yes. I love him as a player. I love him.
He's so funny.
So who do you got as your random fantasy ad of the week, and why? You've gone with a lot of pitchers. We getting another pitcher?
Yeah, I know. I'm finally gonna take a hitter.
Okay.
Colin Moran on the Pittsburgh Pirates. Don't worry that they got one hit yesterday. I don't care about that. Against J-Happ. It's not a big deal. Don't worry. I know we said before that, like, the Pirates didn't really look like they had any guys outside of Brian Hayes that you would want to take in fantasy because... Like,
I mentioned Colin Moran. You were not on it.
You did.
Yeah.
You did. You mentioned Colin Moran. But I wasn't on the Colin Moran train yet that he was going to be able to just... stat pad.
Yes.
But he has been, and he's been on fire. If you can get him, if you have like a droppable player, whether it's like a utility spot or like an infielder, because I think he qualifies for multiple infield positions.
I can double check that.
But like if you're my dad, you're still rocking Keston Hiura, who's hitting 110 on the Brewers. It's time to let him go. If you were like me and you were rocking Tommy Pham in your utility spot up until last week, it's time to let him go.
Moran is available. He qualifies for first base and DH. So if you play in a DH league where you need a DH spot, like, he might be the prime ad of the week for you.
Yeah. I don't think there are any first basemen who are playing like terrible, unless you have like Trey Mancini, like I did, and I let him go.
Yeah.
So I like him. Adam Quick, because his percentage dropped up
it's going up
20%.
It spiked.
I think it's up to 40% now ownership. So it's got to look out for.
So I like that, obviously, because I like when I get to be right ahead of time. My pick, though, is going to be Carson Kelly, and this is a guy I brought up when we did divisional previews because catcher is so bad. Trust me, I know I have Gary Sanchez. So he's owned in 46% of leagues, but he's hitting over 300. He has 5 home runs. He's got 12 RBIs. Arizona is a great place to hit, all right? And finding a catcher that's hot is rare. If you can stream this guy, I would do it. Once I see what my score looks like after today's game, if I need to, add a catcher, there's some catchers available in our shallow league, and he's one of them. So he might be the newest member of Team Tim over there. So, look, if you need a catcher, Carson Kelly might be the way to go for you. Keith agrees. Keith agrees.
Sorry. Yeah, he's been locked in.
He has been locked in. I like him.
Especially when he gets some protection back in the lineup, whenever Ketel Marte comes back.
That too.
That'll be very important for him. I mean, he's been doing well without him, so hopefully that he keeps that up.
They just know how to hit over there in Arizona.
Yeah.
The whole team.
Yeah,
they just know how to hit.
They've always been a good hitting team.
So, let's talk about an upcoming series that we're looking forward to. So, I got to pick first last week for both of these. So, once again, Keith, who do you got?
All right. Back to the American League. Athletics Rays. So, this actually works out with my 14-game win streak prediction. Yeah. I forgot they were playing each other. But yeah, it's going to be an exciting series. I mean, even the Rays right now with the Blue Jays, they're fighting out every single game. That was an exciting game yesterday. Steven Matz against Tyler Glasnow.
Crazy.
Crazy. I can't believe Steven Matz is pitching well through 4 starts.
He just had to get away from New York, I guess.
Yeah, it's either that or it's the same thing where he comes out the first 4 or 5 starts.
Yeah, and then he's going to be terrible.
And then he just falls apart. So, I don't know. Well, yet to see it happen yet. So, I don't know. Whatever. I think the Rays aren't going to have Glasnow start in that entire 4-game series against the A's. Actually, no, they will.
No, he'll probably pitch the last
Friday.
game.
Yeah. He'll probably pitch the last game of the series. So yeah, that's one to look out for, especially with the Rays sitting at 500 right now. They got to move up in the division while everyone else is cold, and before the Red Sox, fall off.
Let's see. When is... Because I have both of those guys. Hold on. Montas is pitching on Tuesday.
Oh.
Luzardo's probably not going to start because he's pitching tomorrow against Baltimore.
Okay.
So they're going to dodge one of the A's big arms there.
And Manaea is pitching one day, right? Probably.
Well, it's a 4-game series, so everyone else, I guess, is going to be...
He's pitching that 1 game Monday,
yeah. Yeah, so it'll be Manaea and then Montas to start. It's a tough... I don't know, yeah. Keith. They might win 15.
Hey, they might win 15. They might win 15.
That's going to be tough. I like that series. And just for
is the probable starter for Wednesday. Okay. So either way, he's going to pitch. 3rd game, yeah, he's going to pitch.
So, just to be fair to the people at home, that was going to be my pick too. But, Keith got first dibs this week, so I had to go somewhere else. I'm also going to go American League. Royals and Twins. And if you're a casual fan, you're probably like, what is this man saying out loud right now? The Royals are currently in first place as of this recording, 11-7, and they're 7-3 in their past 10 games. The Twins, a little bit below 500, 7-11. They're 2-8 in their last 10, but they had the little COVID thing going on, and the schedule kind of got jumbled up. And this is a big series for the Twins. I know it's early in the year, but I don't think you can let the Royals sweep you and bring you down, because then they'd be 7 or 8 games back already.
Yeah.
That's not good.
They're already 4 games under right now.
That's what I mean. And the Royals are in first place.
Yeah, and they're about to. The Twins got 2 division matchups coming up this entire week. One against the Indians starting on Monday, and then they play the Royals starting Friday, right?
And the Indians are ahead of them too.
Yeah, the Indians are ahead of them too. And then the Indians have a chance to win the next 2 games against the Yankees. If the Indians win the next 2 games against the Yankees, they're back at 500.
Yeah, I know.
So.
Well, they got Bieber chucking today, right? That's a win.
Yeah. I think they moved Cole back a day so they could face off against each other, right?
They're both on my fantasy team. Yeah, they're both pitching today.
Because Cole was the probable for Friday.
Why would you do that?
It was, I don't know.
If you're the Yankees, wouldn't you want to pitch him against not Bieber?
Yeah, unless you want I guess they want the showdown. I don't know.
I'd rather have Cole against, you already won the first 2 games.
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather have Cole pitch against somebody that I know is a lock. He's going to beat him. I don't know. I guess I think a little bit differently than that.
Well, maybe it's just to keep him in the game because you have Jordan Montgomery going out there. The Indians put a 3 spot on him in the first inning.
Yeah, that's true.
So if you get a 3 spot put on you in the first inning, and you got to face Bieber, you're not coming back.
It's over.
It's over.
No, I agree with that for sure. But look, we're about 40 minutes in, so Me and Keith will be back with you next Saturday. Obviously, we're going to preview a lot more things. We might not have to spend 25 minutes talking about starting pitching, but I love starting pitching, so I can't say no to it. So look, same thing as usual. BeakBrands.com, written content, as well as the podcast. NFL Draft is coming up. Might get to do a little hangout session. We'll see what happens. And we'll, post some thoughts during the NFL Draft. Number 2, Beak Brands on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. We need you to follow, share, etc. If you're on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, like the video, tell with your friends, and then obviously Apple and Spotify listeners, give us a rate and review, follow, subscribe, share, hook us up.
All that fun stuff.
Yeah, all the fun stuff. All right, all the fun stuff. That might have to be the name of that segment. All right, so until next time, me and Keith are out of here, and enjoy the rest of this baseball week, which when you're listening to this will be Monday.